Good morning, everyone. So today we're gonna shift a little bit away from natural selection. So we're still talking about selection, evolutionary change, but we're gonna talk about artificial selection. So the word artificial means, some of you might realize, it means man-made, not nature-based. So today's objectives are you'll be able to identify who is the selector in artificial selection. So we established natural selection is done by nature. And so if you were listening to what I was saying in the beginning, you should probably be able to guess who is the selector in artificial selection. Number two, you're going to identify the reason for artificial selection. So why do we do artificial selection? Behavior objective stays the same. You show respect by doing your work and following instructions. Responsibility by actually doing your work in an appropriate manner. Academic honesty. This is important because if I find an answer that is literally Googled and copied and pasted, then we all know what that means. Plagiarism. And so that breaches academic honesty. And so let us not do something like that. If you have to use Google, I suggest Google it, read the answer or results you find, and rewrite it in your own words. Some of you might not realize it is really easy to figure out if you wrote that sentence or not. Moving on. And so vocabulary stays the same, except we add one more. Artificial selection. It is a process where humans play the role of selecting the desirable trait. So here we are looking for desirable trait, which will be passed on to the next generation. So in natural selection, the best adapted organism survives. That is in nature. That is out in the great wilds. Do you live or die? That is the question. But in artificial selection, humans decide, do you have what I want? So that is a very important difference between the two. And so let's start things off with a little example before we go into anything. My question is, do you notice anything weird about this picture? For those of you who do not realize it, I circled in red what this is. And yes, that is a dog. Before anyone thinks of other very morbid, inappropriate ideas, this dog is safe. This is a roast. So a roast is if you ever go to, for example, I'm sure some of you have went to buy rotisserie chicken. Rotisserie chicken is literally chicken that they spin around in an oven. This is before ovens. This is probably the most British thing I've ever seen. People back then used to turn the roast by hand, and so the Brits were like, you know what? I'm gonna breed a dog to do this for me. And so this dog was bred to literally run in that wheel to turn the spit roast. And so they asked this question, why turn this by hand when the dog can do it for me? This is an example of artificial selection. Breeding. In artificial selection, humans are the selector. We choose what we want, not nature. Only desirable traits are passed on. So it is something that we want. I want a dog to be a guard dog. So I want, obviously, the meanest, most disciplined animal to be the guard dog. So I will look for these traits in parents, and then they will breed an offspring that will be a super guard dog. So unlike natural selection, not the best fit traits are picked. So chances are, an example would be a Chihuahua. We bred a Chihuahua to be absolutely cute and adorable and probably annoying. Now, if I left a Chihuahua out in the wild, it is not best fit for anything. I cannot imagine a Chihuahua surviving in the woods. And so that is artificial selection. Humans choose, not nature. Only desirable traits that humans want are chosen. And so that is artificial selection. The video will probably do a better job explaining than me. So today's assignment will be, you will watch the video, and then you'll complete the question on the Google Doc. There you will learn about artificial selection in, first example, dogs. So they'll be talking about a border collie. A terrier. Now, some of you might not know what a terrier is. Terriers are those little, hairy little dogs that, I guess in typical cartoons, tends to bark a lot. Terriers are meant to chase after rodents. That was back then. And some terriers are used as hunting dogs. And so they have a purpose. They have a role. Same thing with Border Collie. His job is to be a shepherd. They help the shepherds. A Rottweiler. Look at how intimidating that dog is. Pointy snout, pointy teeth, pointy ears that shoot straight up. That is a very intimidating animal. That's why a Rottweiler's job is to be a guard dog. We have selected these traits. And so there's other ways we can use artificial selection. So the video will talk about other things. There's other, like, for example, on a farm, there's examples of this. And in the supermarket, the vegetables that we eat. This video will then bring us back to our big question on how genetics can be used to feed the world. And so today's assignment is just watch the video, go through all the examples that the video goes through. The video uses quite a bit of examples. Complete the questions on the Google Doc, and then turn it in. And so, good luck.